Welcome to the lesson on transitioning and positioning for second referees. During play, the R2 should move back and forth from one side of the net to the other, being on the blocking side as often as possible. The R1 will focus on the offensive side since the R1 is responsible for judging contacts on the ball. In order to get from one side to the other, the R2 performs a transition. This movement takes the R2 behind the pole, temporarily blocking the R2's view. As such, we try to make the transition as quickly as possible. This large movement from one side to the other is typically called a primary transition. Once the R2 is established on a side of the net, it may be necessary to make other, usually smaller movements. These are known as secondary transitions, and the R2 makes these movements to get the best view of the play. Secondary transitions can occur in many directions and for various reasons. As you gain more experience, you will learn how best to make these secondary transitions so you can see the play clearly. At the end of the rally, regardless of whether the R1 or R2 initiates the call, the R2 should transition to the side of the fault and begin the signal sequence. In order to get from one side to the other, the R2 should take 2 or 3 large quick steps. This minimizes time behind the pole. There is no need to transition very far laterally away from the pole. Keep your motions efficient. The main footwork technique for the primary transition are the side step and crossover step. In a side step, the first step you take is a large step with your leading foot. After that, you can cross over with your trailing foot and then square up to the net. Alternatively, a crossover step is one where you begin with your trailing foot crossing over your leading foot, and then bringing your now trailing leg around to square up to the net. As best you can, try to keep your shoulders parallel to the court so you can turn your head easily to watch play. The downside of the crossover step is that it forces you to turn your whole body away from the play. If you use this step, you should turn your head over your shoulder so you can continue to watch play as needed. In this primary transition, keep a wide focus while play is off the net. Only make this primary transition after play at the net has concluded. Watch for the attacking and blocking motions to finish and for the offensive team to transition off the net. Since the R2 movement involves traveling behind the pole, you want to avoid making this transition if players are near the net. Getting caught behind the pole while the play is still going on at the net precludes the R2 from seeing who contacts the net. If you find you're getting ready to make your primary transition, but the ball is heading back toward the net quickly, such as an overpass on first ball, stay put. It is better to be on the wrong side of the court but have a clear view of the net than to be in transition to the right side of the court but be blocked from view while blockers and attackers are playing the ball at the net. The R2 in this video uses a crossover step. He steps first with his trailing foot and goes to the other side of the net quickly. He does a good job of keeping himself open to the court and watching the play even as he transitions. Notice after the play, he steps to the side of the fault. This transition after the play gives information to the R1. When the R2 steps to his left, he is telling the R1 that the team on that side committed the fault.
All right, now we're looking at Wade, as I said. Good help on that one.
Once you've established yourself on the defensive side of the net, you may find you need smaller adjustments to see the play at the net better. These secondary transitions should be made to help focus you on what part of the net will be involved in the play. You might find yourself needing to move closer to or farther from the pole, both laterally and in depth, depending on the speed of play and where the ball is set. Whatever secondary transitions you have to make, Be sure to make them quickly and be stationary when the ball is being contacted. Keeping still will help you judge any faults that may occur. In addition, you might find yourself needing to make large adjustments to help judge things like antenna faults. This is especially important in a match without line judges. If the ball is played past the court boundary on the R2's side, the R2 should move toward the pole to get the best view on whether the ball legally crosses the net between the antennas. If the ball is played past the court boundary on the R1 side, the R2 may find it necessary to give up the net a little and help the R1 judge whether an antenna fault occurred by moving out toward the attack line. Watch the R2's large secondary transition in this play.
Strong serve. Oh, nice play by Nebraska and Feen to get it over. Payne a swing. What a play by Kelsey Feen. When the whole building thought the point was lost.
And what a mistake. Kansas didn't believe that she could make that play, but we had a great angle on it. Coach Bouchard is not happy, but I thought it was a good play, and it just caught Kansas by surprise. They essentially gave up. Look at, they're all standing straight-legged instead of staying low and expecting the ball to come over. It has to go inside that stick.
Yeah.
That was easily inside that or the extension of it up to the roof, the antenna.
When the ball is played beyond the R2's sideline on the left, she moves directly in toward the antenna because she knows the team is going to have to try to cut the ball inside the antenna. She puts herself in the perfect position to judge the path of the ball. The line judge on the right also moves up the sideline to help make this determination. Even though the coach raises questions, the R2's positioning leaves no doubt that the play was legal. Transitions are all about getting you to the right place at the right time. Keep your motions as quick and as economical as possible. This will help you view every play instead of hiding behind the pole. There are a number of techniques for making these transitions. Find one that works for you and practice. Remember that your transition is a way of communicating information to your partner. Practice making these transitions quickly and smoothly. This concludes the third lesson about the second referee. Please mark this lesson complete and continue to the next lesson, Managing Game Interruptions. Thank you.